storm is headed next.
Almost all the Houston area waterways swollen by the storm's record rainfall have crested, but water levels continue to rise in those two flood control reservoirs.
And the focus now is to the east in Louisiana, where the storm made a third landfall this morning. CNN's Omar Jimenez is live in Richmond, Texas now with the very latest.
The Coast Guard continuing their search for two civilian rescuers that were swept away after their boat capsized last night. This comes as Harvey makes landfall yet again as a tropical storm, though it is expected to weaken over the next 24 hours to a depression. We've seen rescues happen across the Houston area. Those will continue, but also the next step, finding places for these people to go. We're just now learning about 32,000 people across Texas slept in shelters, according to the Red Cross, and those people include those here in the Houston area.
A humanitarian crisis unfolding in the Houston metropolitan area. Evacuations continue as water rises.
We were checking it all night long. At 3 a.m. when I looked the last time, it wasn't even up to my front door. And by 5 o'clock, we had 2 inches of water in the house.
Tens of thousands in shelters amid catastrophic flooding brought by record rainfall.
I had to grab my baby and diapers, what I could, and try to swim, and hopefully hope that we could be picked up.
When we was out there on that roof, Sunday and Monday, that water was coming in so fast, and then we got rescued on that bridge, and they tell us that bridge has collapsed since.
Many more still waiting to be rescued as emergency crews and volunteers race against time to reach those still trapped in their homes.
We had situations of rescuing people out of attics, people with medical conditions, elderly people, all different types of situations with animals, kids, babies.
I'm a former U.S. Navy search and rescue swimmer, so I'm just compelled to come out when things like this are happening.
Harris County's flood district meteorologist says that enough water has fallen to cover the entire 1,800 square miles of Harris County with 33 inches of water.
And when you talk about rain, we've seen it over the past few days. The total Harvey rainfall over 50 inches, which sets a record for the mainland U.S. As you can see, it is sunny today for the first time on this western side of Houston, but that doesn't mean the danger is over yet. We've still seen floodwaters rise. The only good news we've gotten on that front is the flood manager for Harris County, which covers Houston, says many of the creeks have crested and now some water levels are beginning to drop. Reporting live in Richmond, Texas, I'm Omar Jimenez.
Those water levels have a long way to go. The sun is out in Houston, and it's the same story here, luckily.
Yes, it is. We love to see the sunshine. And Doug, is that sun going to stick around for a while?
I think for most of the day, as we get through the next couple of days, a little more cloudiness, maybe a few showers in the weekend is still a big question mark, maybe from the leftover circulation from Harvey. But right now, it is gorgeous. Looking at the Capitol Wheel National Harbor, blue sky, sunshine. Temperatures will be much warmer this afternoon. We held in the 60s all day yesterday. We're already up to 72 at Reagan National, 70 in Manassas and Frederick and Fredericksburg, 71 now in Baltimore. And as we look forward through the afternoon, we'll enjoy plenty of sunshine, a light northwesterly breeze bringing drier air. We'll hit 78 to 80, so that's a big improvement, certainly temperature-wise. Remember when we talked about this little East Coast storm we experienced yesterday, whether it would become a tropical storm or not, or if it would, it'd be named Irma? Well, now we have a real Irma. It is that tropical wave and depression we've seen off the Cape Verde Islands. Top winds 50 miles per hour. It is moving to the west at 13 miles per hour, and forecasters, the National Hurricane Center, track it out into the weekend and early next week. And the forecast track is like this: to the west and a little jog to the southwest, keeping its intensity pretty much, maybe getting a little bit stronger by Monday. But then by next week, we're going to have to carefully watch as it encounters friendlier air patterns and warmer water approaching the eastern end of the Caribbean. What may happen next? So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. We're keeping an eye on the Houston area, Texas, and all of the South Gulf Coast because of the circulation and the rain associated with Harvey. It's still a tropical storm. It is going to move to the north, but Houston's in the clear. This rain will kind of move to the north and the northeast, and as that remnant remnant circulation that could have effect on us Saturday or even Sunday. We'll have to see how it goes. We'll lay the latest track from the Hurricane Center. It's 30 miles northwest of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Top winds now 45, so still a healthy little tropical storm. And you notice its track continues to the northeast through the end of the week. It will weaken, but it'll still be able to produce precipitation. The question is, what happens Saturday, Sunday? Does it bend towards us or give us a break? We'll let you know. In the meantime, let's talk about the rainfall total one more time here, and it has been incredible to say the least, and it's still going to be capable of producing significant rains, not flooding rains, but a fair amount in that swath as it heads off to the north. During this entire time, we've heard so many remarkable stories, and Omar just told us a sad story of rescuers that drowned last night. But out of Texas, hometown heroes are coming from their homes and businesses, braving the floodwaters and everything from boats to big rigs, and as we've seen, even jet skis. Let's get more now on this from ABC meteorologist Rob Marciano.
These are all these boats you see here, just family boats, regular civilians that came down with their trucks.
They are everyday heroes, traveling from near and far to help the victims of Hurricane Harvey. People like Nick Sheridan, who sprang into action immediately after seeing the devastating toll caused by the storm.
I'd say 5, maybe 6 feet deep.
Driving nearly 200 miles with his big rig to help rescue those stranded in the floodwaters.
They'll just keep bringing boatloads of people out to the truck, we'll load them up, and we'll get them out of the area.
Nick, with the help of 2 other truck drivers, rescuing more than 1,000 people and counting. Local members of the community, like realtor Stephanie Fry, stepping up to help too.
People walking down the streets with backpacks, trash bags of clothes, and babies on their backs. It's really hard for everybody right now.
Fry offering up her own apartment to families who needed a place to stay.
Call me, text me if you'll need anything. I will. I really mean that. I'm right down the streets. I'm right here for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Then there's Team Rubicon, a nonprofit composed of a group of military veterans.
What are the risks involved here? Lack of information I'm worried about, and lack of communication I'm worried about, because water's it's getting ready to rise, and these people don't want to leave their homes.
I was there when they came across a family of 7 who needed help, one by one, brought to safety by the team.
The emotion there is just palpable. I'm glad Team Rubicon's here to help them out.
Rob Marciano reporting there. Red Cross doing everything it can to help the victims of Harvey, included now the folks affected in western Maryland. Suzanne Kennedy visited the Red Cross disaster headquarters in Fairfax, where relief crews, more of them, are heading out.
These emergency response vehicles are taking off from here in Fairfax County with 4 volunteers from the National Capital Chapter of the American Red Cross on board. They will travel 1,100 miles to Baton Rouge, Louisiana to assist in the recovery effort there. Before they left, we took a look inside these trucks. The units will be used to serve food to people in neighborhoods and at shelters in areas impacted by now Tropical Storm Harvey. They can serve 400 meals at a time. The 4 volunteers who are being deployed are being sent for 2 weeks.
I'm anxious. I'm ready to get started on this journey, and I'm nervous, not knowing what to expect, but I'm confident and excited that I'm able to go and do some good work and help people.
The challenges are great, but the opportunity to be there and help people is what's motivating members of our team. We've sent 38 trained workers thus far, and we'll continue to send people over the next hours and days and weeks.
This team will join the more than 2,500 volunteers already on the ground in 2 states assisting in the wake of this devastating event. In Fairfax County, Suzanne Kennedy, News Channel 8.
I love this picture of some Texas National Guard troops sleeping on mattresses at a Richmond, Texas furniture showroom. Others getting some rest at their computer or using their phones to check in with the folks back home. After the break, it is then back to the business of rescuing folks trapped in Harvey's floodwaters. Those are true heroes right there.
Catching some Z's wherever.
You have to. Yep.
Well, President Trump back in Washington now after taking a trip to the storm zones in Texas yesterday. There, Trump met with emergency and state officials, but not storm victims. The White House yesterday defended that decision, saying the president did not want to interfere with rescue efforts. It is those efforts the president today is applauding.
It's a real team, and that want to be looked at in 5 years and 10 years from now is this is the way to do it.
Well, so far, at least 8,600 federal personnel are on the ground in Texas. $25 million in emergency relief funds also being used to help repair roads and bridges. The president will be headed back to Texas on Saturday.
We focused on the Harvey response at the scene because it is so pervasive and so big. It's estimated 17,000 people already are in shelters and maybe another